to our living room. I have decided to do a quick clean with me living room reset video. I am actually going to leave everything in real time. So if you want to body double or mirror along with me and clean up a space in your house, this video is about 30 minutes long. So it's a nice quick video to do a little reset. So I'm showing you now, this is a very typical state in our living room. There's a few things out of place and it's going to take about 30 minutes to get it all reset to the way I like it and get everything tucked away where it belongs. I'm showing this because if you have been with me for a while and you know, like 2024, last year, we've come a long way. The living room area kind of merges into the dining room area here, and it's the main living space of the house. It's the first thing you see when you walk in. And thankfully, it's the most decluttered and easiest to get looking nice, which is good. There are some problem areas in the house still that need some deep decluttering and organization, but the living room's doing really well. So I'm going to show you how we just sort of put everything away and the systems that are in place that are working. And if anything isn't really working, we'll talk about that too. But for the most part, the living room stays relatively clean all the time. And the main reason for that is because over the last, 2 years or so, I have been decluttering our house and also extremely limiting the things that are coming back into the house, like the new purchases. At the point we're at now, at least in the living room, it's pretty well the way I want to have it, with not a lot of extra clutter everywhere. There's a spot for everything. I think the beginning of 2024 is when I started this. So it's been nearly 2 years. And the biggest problem I had at that time was my inventory for my small business was taking over and trickling into the other parts of the house. And so there was a lot of boxes piled up, and then that made it just very easy to pile up everything else in the house, like all of our actual things. It just became like a magnet. So there was no spot to put anything. We had way too much stuff, and I had inventory all over the house. So we've definitely gotten to a much better place as far as that goes. Also earlier this year, around April, May, we had a rat fiasco in our apartment, which was very awful. But thankfully that is good now. But as you can see from this living room shot here, we had to get rid of our couch. Well, we didn't have to. We could have had it steam cleaned and deep cleaned, but since there were rats running around our house, we couldn't just leave it as is. And the couch was so old and kind of falling apart anyway, I didn't want to pay money to have an old, dingy, crummy, kind of semi-broken couch cleaned. So we opted to just toss it. And we are going to be getting a new couch, but I'm not going to get a sectional this time because I like the way that this is looking a lot more. We just moved these 2 side chairs in there, and I think ultimately what we're going to do is get just a single long couch and put it where those side chairs are, and then move the chairs to either side. Like put one basically where I'm standing in this video and the other one where that blue foam playmat is. That's just like a playmat for the kids. It has different pieces. They make forts out of it and stuff like that. But that can go somewhere else. And yeah, so that's the plan. So we'll have 2 chairs and 1 couch in here. And really, we need to do that relatively soon because the holidays are coming up and we're going to have people over. And, you know, we need more seating. We need more spots for people to sit. In fact, we had some friends over the other day and we had to just pull out chairs from the dining table to sit around and talk to each other. So it's definitely something that we do need. We do need more seating in this room. But I do like the way it looks all open and airy like this. Through this whole decluttering challenge, that has been my mission. My word has been airy. I want everything to be airy. I want things to be loose and have room in the cupboards and to be able to walk around stuff and have lots of breathing room. So airy has been my goal word for this house over the last 2 years. And I think in this living room, at this point, I have achieved it. That's why it does not take long to get it looking back to the way I want it to look. I want all the blankets rolled up into this little cloth basket, and We still use the blankets. We use them most nights. The kids pull them out and snuggle with them and stuff, and they don't know how to roll them the way that I want them to and put them back, but it doesn't take long for me to do it. And when I was standing at the front door where the Roomba is going now, that closet in there is where we put our shoes. So sometimes the kids put their shoes away in that closet, sometimes they don't, but they know where they belong. So if I tell them, hey, put your shoes away, they can do it. Also, it's just very quick and easy for me to do it. Like if they're not home or something, I don't always put my shoes away every single time I walk in the house either. So it's something that everyone is working on, and everyone has moments where they just kind of explode when they walk into the front door and don't put their stuff away. But the systems in place that I've created are making it very, very easy to clean up, even if people aren't tidying as they go, as we like to say. So that's why I wanted to just do a in real time, not sped up video to show you, like, look, I'm moving very slowly in this video, but it's like, look, this doesn't take very long to fix this. And I'm also taking time to like move the camera around. Like it takes longer to film things anyway. So it's not even truly in real time because I'm doing like one section at a time for the purpose of having the camera angles set up right. If I was just doing this without the camera, it would probably be about a 20-minute reset because I could just ping pong and zip all over the house and just put stuff away in a little bit more of a, I don't know, a systematic order that works for me, just the way my brain works, rather than what is best for like the camera shot. But I think it gives you the gist of how little there really even is to do. And also, this is not really a clean with me. I said it a little bit wrong in the beginning when I said this is a clean with me. It's really a tidy with me. We just kind of tend to call everything a clean with me. I'm not really pulling out any like cleaning products. I'm not vacuuming the floor, although the Roomba pretty much handles that. But I'm not doing any kind of deep cleaning. I'm not scrubbing anything. I think I do a little bit of dusting with just a little Swiffer duster, but other than that, it's mostly just how to reset the room at the end of a day or at the beginning of a next day, because we don't really reset the rooms before bed. That's just kind of not something I normally do. It's more like I do it when the kids are at school because, you know, it's kind of silly to shovel snow in a snowstorm. Is that what they say? That's what it's like to clean up when you have little kids at home. It's like 1 second you clean up, you turn around and it's messy again because they're just like little Tasmanian devils. So I tend to tidy up and kind of reset the house while they're at school. And yeah, when they get home from school, it gets a little bit crazy again, but it's still worth it for me and it doesn't take very long. So that's kind of the point of all of this. My daily routine while they're at school is I tend to drop them off at school, go exercise, either work out, go to the park, exercise, whatever, and then come home and reset the house and then start work for the day. So that's where I'm at now. That's why I'm still in like workout clothes. I don't bother showering or anything yet because, you know, I'm just going to be sweaty cleaning up the house. That's no big deal. So that's kind of been my routine lately, and it's been going really, really well. And I feel much more calm and at peace with just life in general. And I feel really good when the house is put together the way I want it and everything's in its spot and it's staying a lot cleaner that way. And yeah, it's just overall very much nicer at our house. So I guess that's the main takeaway from all of this, is that decluttering works. Having less stuff helps you keep your house more tidy and clean. It's just very simple. The more stuff you have laying around everywhere, the harder it is to put it all back and to get it into place and to clean around it. So truly, I couldn't be happier about how this room looks. In some camera angles later on in the video, you might see some little peeks into the kitchen, or off into the distance, you might see Blake's lounge area. And those areas definitely need some help because I know how quick and easy it is to clean this front part of the house, which again is good because it's where everyone hangs out when people come over. It's the first thing you see when you walk in the house. It's nice that this area is so well taken care of, but there are some other parts in the house that are still problematic. But now I know if we just get rid of a bunch of stuff and don't keep as many things in there and organize it better so that there is a distinct home for every little thing, the cleaning of it and the tidying up of it goes super fast. And overall, the house just feels way more put together and way more manageable. So that brings us to what is next on this channel, which is Vlogmas. And that will be the next video you see. On December 1st, I will start posting my Vlogmas videos, one video every single day. So set the notification bell for that because you're really not going to want to miss it. And because I pre-film a lot of these, I'd say about half of it is done already. I will say that part of Vlogmas is going to be a little bit of redecorating these rooms. Now, I just said I like how everything looks in here and everything's going, really well to keep it clean and tidy, but there were some sort of decorative improvements I wanted to make. So part of Vlogmas, spoiler alert, is going to be that. And then the second half of Vlogmas is going to be doing some decluttering. So those problem areas, like I said, the kitchen and Blake's lounge a little bit, because that's mostly his area and I kind of don't care a whole lot about what it looks like in there, as that's his man cave, but I am going to be doing a little bit in there to kind of pare down my own collection, or I guess our collection of things that he has in there. And I've come up with some solutions for our kitchen storage problem, and I definitely need to do a once over again in the kitchen cabinets and pare down even more. Although I will say, during our whole rat fiasco, the whole kitchen got emptied, and I can't even tell you how many loads of stuff we threw away and or donated to a thrift store, because once everything was out, I just kind of went crazy with I need everything out of my house. I don't want to have anything anymore, especially if I thought rats had been crawling on it. It's a very extreme thing to happen, but it did have somewhat of a good outcome when it comes to making the decision to get rid of stuff very, very easy. But anyway, that's what's coming up next. Also, a lot of this rearranging that I'm going to be doing in these videos is because we brought home 2 totes of things from Blake's grandma's house in Iowa. Unfortunately, she passed away recently, and we went out for her funeral and ended up bringing 2 totes of things home. One box was photo albums that I'm going to be scanning for the family so that they're digitized, but the other box was filled with her salt and pepper shaker collection and some mid-century things that she wanted me to have. And we didn't completely clean her house out or empty it out or anything. It was just a few little things that I took home when we were out there recently. But we are going to be going back out in the spring and emptying the house. And I just know that Blake's going to want to bring a lot of stuff home. And we will be replacing some of the things that we already have. And with that in mind, I need to make room for some of her things that I want to display. So I'm making a hutch filled with family heirlooms, basically, because yes, I don't want to be bringing in a lot of clutter into my house, because I just did this whole decluttering thing and I really like the way the house is looking. So I'm trying to already think ahead and find specific places where I'm going to display these things with the importance that they deserve, because that's what's really important to me and Blake. I have a bunch of my grandma's things from when she passed away, so we like hanging on to the family heirlooms, and we're more than willing to make room for them by getting rid of stuff that isn't sentimental to us, possibly even the dining table, things like that. So with all of that in mind, that is kind of the catalyst for the things that I chose to work on for Vlogmas this year. So anyway, I hope you're looking forward to that, because thus far in the filming stages of it, it has been going really, really well. I'm so excited for you guys to see the videos. And yeah, it's a really, really big change. It was a lot of work. So hopefully you guys like that and enjoy the upcoming videos here. Now, in this dining room area, I do have a few little Christmas things already trickling onto the table. It's because I am a vintage reseller, if you didn't already know that. So these were things that I was selling. Actually, I ended up not selling that bowl and cup set, that punch bowl set, but the ceramic trees I pulled out of my own Christmas decor bins and decided to sell them. So they were on the table so that I could take pictures of them and just list them on Facebook Marketplace because they're very big and bulky and don't necessarily want to ship them. I would, but it would cost a lot of money to ship them. So I was just trying to sell them on Facebook Marketplace first. So those will be left out here, but normally they wouldn't be sitting there. So I just wanted to mention why those are there in this video. And it's like the one thing that I'm going to just be leaving where it is, because I was in the middle of doing something with them. Also, I need to declutter my Christmas decor this year. So I do believe that's something that I'm going to be doing in one of the Vlogmas videos. I haven't actually filmed it yet, so hopefully that ends up going okay, but we are going to be redoing the garage and the way we store things in the garage, because we bought tons of these black totes with yellow lids. You probably know what type I'm talking about. They're like the very typical Home Depot kind of storage bins, and we're going to replace all of our old bins in the garage. We had to buy all the bins for when we were packing up the house during the rat fiasco and putting everything into a storage unit. So we have all of these bins that we already bought for that, and I figured now's a good opportunity to switch out all of the mismatched, weird size totes and things that we have in the garage for all of our seasonal stuff. So now each holiday, when we're pulling out the Christmas decor and things like that, I'm going to really be realistic about what I actually have room to display and how I want to decorate. And I'm going to go ahead and let a bunch of stuff go. I already have in my mind a few things that I know they're kind of big, bulky things, and I know I haven't put them out as decor in a long time. So I'm planning to get rid of those. And then ultimately at the end of the holidays, we'll be able to pack everything back up into these nice, brand new, all matching totes. And hopefully that will help the garage a little bit. The garage situation, we'll just call it, because yeah, that's a whole other project. It's really not something we're going to work on in December. It's just too much for now, and Blake doesn't have time to help me with it, and half the stuff in there is his, and I can't really do anything with it or even lift it. He has like a bunch of speakers and audio equipment and stuff in there. I could possibly declutter and fix up the one little shelf that I've done in the past that has cleaning supplies and paper towels and household kind of things in it, but the bulk of the garage is just way too out of control, and I need Blake's help with that. And since he's not off work for the holidays until like right before Christmas, there's really no opportunity for us to dig in there and make any kind of significant difference or make a video about it or anything. So that's gonna be a New Year's project, which is fine, because the priority and where I need to put my time right now is really into the interior of the house anyway, because there's plenty to do inside of the house before Christmas and before we're having people over and stuff. And especially now that we brought a couple extra bins of things home, I need to get all of that put away and in a safe spot first before we start pulling everything out of the garage. Also, it's been uncharacteristically rainy here in Southern California, so that's not some project I want to start where we're pulling a bunch of stuff out of the garage and then having bad weather, although I think we're kind of over that phase right now. I think it's supposed to be good weather for a while, but it still is technically winter. Well, actually, technically it's still fall, but you know what I mean. It still can be a stormy season, even though we're in Southern California and it basically never rains. So it just feels more like a good New Year's, February, March, springtime kind of project. We'll see. Maybe even in the early stages of January when we're packing up the Christmas stuff and putting it all away, maybe that's a good time to start switching the bins over and start really kind of digging into the garage and cleaning it out. We'll see. So this little area that I'm working on right now has become kind of a drop zone recently. We just sort of shoved this ottoman here. In the past, it had a desk where the kids could do their homework. Well, I have moved that upstairs to the landing area and sort of rearranged some things there. So we kind of just put this ottoman here just because there was an empty spot and we needed somewhere to put the ottoman. And it's become a drop zone for mail and homework and backpacks and anything that we have in our hands as we're walking by. You know, it's one of those just sort of problem areas. It hasn't gotten too bad, and now I have a new place to put their homework and stuff, like schoolwork and papers and things that come home from school. The idea is it's going to be going upstairs onto the desk, but it just hasn't been making its way upstairs yet. And as you can see behind in the background there on the stairs have started collecting some things. Now, actually, other than this day, we've been doing really well about not leaving a lot of stuff on the stairs. I don't know what happened specifically to get all of that stuff on there in this moment, but I will say it tends to be Blake piling things on the stairs. I'm not gonna call anybody out by name, but it might be Blake that's doing it most of the time. And the kids a little bit too. And of course, I temporarily put some stuff on there as well, but I also tend to be the one that puts it away. But overall, we are getting a lot better about not having a lot of these sort of drop zones, and the more places I create for things to go, like things belong in certain places, the less stuff is just piling up wherever. Because if the mail goes in a certain spot, then we put the mail in the mail spot. But I will say we actually don't have a spot for the mail, because we tend to just put whatever mail we get straight into the garbage, because 99.9% of it is just trash. So we don't really like use actual mail very much. We get packages sometimes, but that's kind of a whole different beast. It's mostly like papers that come home from school. As you can see here, I'm sorting through this pile right now and throwing a lot of it away. I am doing better about sorting through the kids' schoolwork as it comes home. So they'll bring some schoolwork home for the week and I'll look through it, tell them good job, and then most of it goes into the trash. Now, the really important stuff that they want to keep, I have a spot upstairs that I'm keeping it, and then I eventually go through it one more time at the end of the year when it seems less important to them, and then it gets filed away in these sort of archival bin things that I have in my office. So out of all of those papers that we had on the ottoman there, I only think we ended up keeping one or two things, and I think one of them was a current homework assignment. So it was an actual paper for an assignment that they needed to work on. I forget which one, but one of my kids had to do something. So I'd say 95% of the stuff that comes home, it ends up going straight into the trash. So we're not actually having a whole lot of paperwork from school piling up this year, which is really good. And that was the goal, because last year at Vlogmas, you might remember, I had one whole ticket or fishbowl pull. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch my old Vlogmas videos. But I had one whole ticket for sorting through kids' schoolwork because I just had piles of it all over the place. Well, now I'm doing much better at like handling it in the moment so that that doesn't happen again. And it is a good idea if you are interested in Vlogmas and all of that. Go ahead and go back to my Vlogmas 2024 videos. I have a whole playlist. I'll try to remember to link the playlist down in the description of this video. So if you want to binge watch something, if you yourself are decorating for Christmas or trying to clean up your house before the holidays and want something to play in the background to kind of keep you company while you're busy with your own tasks, well, that might be a good thing to watch. And they're relatively short videos, most of them. They're going to be short-ish, most of them, again, this year. Some of them are longer, some of them are shorter. It's just depending on what project I'm working on that day. But they're kind of easy, quick wins. So it's like, one of them could be cleaning out the shoe closet. One day is cleaning out my coffee bar, which that one is a long one. I remember that was kind of a nightmare last year, and we're doing it again this year. So there's certain areas that sort of got messy again over the year. But if you haven't watched Vlogmas last year, it's a good place to start, because I really think you're going to see how much progress I made over the last year since Vlogmas, and how it has stayed relatively manageable as far as the amount of stuff that we have in the house and the amount of stuff that just gets all over the place and doesn't have a spot and just doesn't belong and probably just needs to leave the house altogether. There's not as much of it, and I think you really will see, like, from the beginning of Vlogmas last year to now, it's a huge, huge improvement. And really, this year, 2025, since last Vlogmas, it's been such a roller coaster ride. We had a bunch of just unexpected, horrible things happening, like the death in the family and the rat fiasco, where we had to move out of our house for almost 2 months and pack up every possession that we had and put it in storage. We were living with my aunt. The rats ate the stairs. There was renovations or repairs that needed to happen in our apartment. I mean, it was just a nightmare. But then on the other hand, we had a bunch of great things happen this year, and we went on this amazing road trip over the summer and visited my family and Blake's family, and there's just been a lot of up and down, and not a lot of decluttering and stuff has been happening. But I think during the whole rat chaos, so much had to leave the house anyway that it sort of catapulted us into a better baseline, like just a better state overall as far as what we have, the amount of possessions we have. I mean, we had to throw away our whole couch. So obviously we're getting rid of a lot of stuff. And it also changed my mindset a lot about where I want to keep certain things. Like I don't want to keep anything perishable in the garage, for example, because the garage is not completely sealed to a potential rat infestation. Although, knock on wood, thankfully, the rats were never even in our garage, which is unbelievably amazing. If they did get in there, it would have been really, really hard to clean it all out. But again, that's kind of this motivation we have now to make everything rat proof, if you will. Not that you could necessarily make everything rat proof, but we're doing everything we can, first of all, to not let that ever happen again, which it was not our fault in the first place. They chewed through the eaves in our building and came down in the walls. So it wasn't anything that we caused anyway, but still, just in case it happened again, we want the house to be in a very clean condition with not a lot of stuff so that we can find out that it happened immediately, and so that they won't do a ton of damage if they ever do come back in, which, knock on wood, they have not come back. And it was such a nightmare. If they ever do, I would probably have a nervous breakdown if I didn't already this first time. But yeah, I think we just have a different standard now. We have different things in mind now. As I'm decluttering, it's always going to be in the back of my mind. It was a very traumatic experience and kind of threw a wrench into this whole year, really. I feel like a lot of the stuff that we have sitting out is still stuff that we just never found a new home for or put back after we moved back in after the rat thing. So during Vlogmas, during my decluttering sessions for that, I will be handling all of those things that were just sort of left over from that whole fiasco. So here we are done tidying up the living room and the entryway areas. Yeah, there was still one little box on the stairs that had to go to the post office, and the pumpkin bucket had to be returned to a neighbor. But for the most part, all of the clutter is put away. Everything's in its place now. All of the blankets are folded the way I like them. The ottoman is clear, and the cats are happy. You saw Max there on the chair under the window, enjoying the nice clean space. And yeah, everything was pretty easy to put back together. We were at around 28 minutes by the time it's time to start doing this walkthrough. So the Roomba is stuck on the cat tree as always, so we will take care of that. I'm very happy with the way everything turned out. I'm very happy with how easy and quick it is for me to put the house back together, because everything has a very distinct location that it belongs in. It does help our kids pick up after themselves and put things away easier. Yeah, overall, it's just been a wonderful change in our house, and I'm very, very thankful that I have put in all of the hard work in the past to get us here today. So, coming up next, I'll see you soon in Vlogmas Day 1. Bye, everyone.